So let's keep up with the Guobadias. I think we might as well start a series keeping up with the Guobadias because that sounds good. But the Guobadias being Porsha Williams and Simon Guobadia. Guys, have you seen the back and forth that happened over the last 3-4 days between Porsha and Simon? I mean, they've been throwing so much shade at each other. Sometimes it feels like they're insulting each other. But anyway, Kenya ended up catching a stray from Simon Guobadia, guys. So let's get into this. As you guys know, Simon Guobadia and Porsha Williams are going through a divorce after being married for only 15 months. I have so many videos about that. So let's start with a fan basically telling Simon, you know what? There is a way to relax you guys. What about if you guys just get together, get in bed together? You guys might just feel a little bit more relaxed and things may calm down. And Simon was like, ew, disgusting. Hell no, me with Porsha. Headlines say, Simon Guobadia disgusted by the concept of having makeup sex with Porsha Williams. And the neighborhood talk said, let me make sure I'm moving this right. Said Simon responds to a fan that suggested he have makeup sex with Porsha Williams. Of course, his response was, that's disgusting, okay? Anyway, so let me read what the fan said exactly. So he or she said, they say makeup sex is good for a relationship sometimes. Have you guys tried that? Because we, the people, are tired of your back and forth, right? The tension is too much. Let's relax, you guys. Like, just jump in bed, right? You know, sometimes exes they sleep together sometimes. Anyway, so Simon says, that's disgusting. Now, if you look at the comment section of both the Shade Room and the Neighborhood Talk, some people are going in on Simon. Oh, how can you call Porsha disgusting? You, with the way you look, didn't you marry her? You left Fallon for Porsha. And I understand both sides, right? I understand what people are saying, but I also understand what Simon means. The Porsha Williams today is not the Porsha Williams he fell in love with, right? This Porsha today is the gold digging Porsha that he never saw. I don't know where his sight went, right? Your brain has sights, but he was only using the eyes, right? He saw Porsha, but he didn't see Porsha, right? Anyway, so this Porsha today is the gold digging Porsha. This Porsha is trying to break him. This Porsha has revealed the other side of her that he doesn't find attractive. This Porsha wants his house, his $7 million home. This Porsha wants his car. This Porsha wants almost everything that Simon has without the money himself, right? So when he says disgusting, there's no way I can find myself sleeping with the woman that's trying to basically cut me off at my knees, right? And by the way, I'm just pulling different posts from Porsha and Simon Guobadia, what they've said over the past 3 days, because, you know, it's a lot to do a video for each post. Like I said, Kenya caught a stray in this back and forth, this divorce drama between Porsha and Simon Guobadia. Why? Well, because Kenya talks too much, right? Kenya likes to jump into things that don't involve her. Maybe Kenya forgot that this was not Real Housewives drama. This is real life drama. Okay, so when the news broke that Kenya was suspended from Real Housewives of Atlanta, as you guys know, she was suspended, might be fired, we don't know, but Kenya said she's not going anywhere. So we have to wait and see until that investigation Bravo is doing is done. Then they'll tell us if they're keeping Kenya or not. But over the weekend, when the news broke that Kenya was suspended, Simon obviously took to Instagram and said, staying out of Simon's business is a real flex. Look at God this season, he said. One Rolls Royce this season. He went on to caption that with, I keep to myself and show everyone love and respect. When you take it upon yourself to join in and assist the devil with their narrative, do not be surprised when some of their bad energy, juju, make a pit stop at your doorstep. So some of you may be wondering, what does that mean? What did Kenya do to Simon? Well, let's rewind a little bit. But I've said this in one of my previous videos, so I'm not going to go deep into it. So if you guys want to catch up, watch one of my videos. But basically, just a quick summary of what happened. Simon gifted Porsha Williams a Rolls Royce back in 2022 before they got married, after they were engaged, right? Recently, I think in the last 2 days, I have a video about that. Simon's June 15th, I believe, Simon sent a cease and desist letter to Bravo and the production company of Real Housewives of Atlanta to stop filming his properties. Specifically, he wanted them to stop filming his expensive, luxurious car Porsha has been driving around in Atlanta, his Rolls Royce, right? He says not only did he tell them to stop filming it, he also said, anything you've captured, image, video of my car, you cannot use it, you cannot publish it, you cannot release it. So what does that mean? Any video they have with that car, they cannot use in season 16. That's a blow when it comes to, one, how many times we get to see Porsha. You know, Porsha is busy showing off with that car in Atlanta, and she definitely wanted us to see that car. Though Porsha is trying to lie to us about what kind of luxurious life she's living, though we know that that's not your car. Well, we recently found out that's not your car, and we know that that mansion you're showing in, that you're going to show in season 16, is not yours. And now we know that you married that guy just to take the house or take some of his assets, right? But anyway, so he basically told them, stop filming my car. Also, we know that filming for season 16 stopped. Why? Because of Kenya Moore's shenanigans, what she did to Brittany Edie. If you want to find out what I'm talking about, watch one of my videos. I'm actually going to put links to all of the videos pertaining to this drama, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about and you want to catch up. The links to all of the videos will be in the description box. And guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and engage. Leave a comment. Say something. Do you think Simon Guobadia was right going after Kenya or not? Is he right when he says that Porsha Williams' bad energy came for her? Anyway, I think Kenya's bad energy came for Kenya, not Porsha. This is my opinion. What do you guys think? That's the story of the Rolls Royce. Kenya. Why is he coming for Kenya? Well, a month ago, Porsha's friend, Shamia, Porsha's friend, recently her African husband also gifted her with a Rolls Royce, right? Simon was quick to post that video of Shamia so excited. He did that to throw a jab at Porsha Williams, right? Simon said something like, congratulations, Shamia, you will be the only wife or cast member with a Rolls Royce. Well, this is where Kenya jumped in, and this is what Simon is talking about. Kenya decided to insert herself in the drama between Porsha and Simon Guobadia. So Kenya said, let me jump in real quick. I have a Rolls Royce, but I bought my own years ago. Now, I mean, personally, I didn't find anything wrong with what Kenya said, though I do agree that Kenya knew, we all knew why Simon was doing that. And Kenya, of all people, should know why Simon was doing that, because Kenya is the queen, well, the second queen of throwing shade. There's Kenya, there's Nene Leakes. Okay, I think Kenya is even better than Nene Leakes if you ask me. But instead, she decided to jump in, right? And say, well, no, me too. I have my own, right? He was going after Porsha. Simon knew, we didn't know at that time, Simon knew the car he gifted Porsha back in 2022, he didn't give her the car. Ownership is still with Simon. Simon is the only one on the title of the car. Porsha is not. So this is what Simon is saying, when you take it upon yourself to join and assist the devil with their narrative, do not be surprised when some of their bad energy, juju, make a pit stop at your doorstep. Now look at you. At the end of the day, like he said, #1 Rolls Royce this season. You decided to jump in. Look at this karma. You are suspended, probably fired. Shamia is going to be the only one with a Rolls Royce. Anyway, at that time, we didn't even know what Simon was planning. June 15th, Simon sends a cease and desist letter to Bravo. Only Shamia is going to be the only one with the Rolls Royce. From the way things look today, Kenya might be fired. So we will never see Kenya's Rolls Royce, at least not in season 16, right? And Porsha cannot use, Porsha can use Simon's car, but a Bravo cannot film the car. So season 16, once again, we're not going to see Porsha in that car. So Simon was right. It's only going to be Shamia. That's how Kenya caught a stray. I don't know if Kenya has responded or not, but Kenya has got bigger problems than fighting with Simon, okay? Simon will finish you. Don't go there. Anyway, so over the past weekend, Simon is back in the United States. So Simon was in Los Angeles and paparazzi caught up with him and they had a few questions for him and they went something like this. He was asked, how do you feel about Porsha getting to stay in the house when you have to pay the bills? Simon said, I'm happy for her. The paparazzi asked, do you think that's fair that she gets to stay in the house and you need to cover everything? Simon says, I will let the judge decide whether it's fair or not. Then the paparazzi said, is it true that you changed the locks on your wife? Simon said, hell yeah, I did. I can just think of him thinking, what did you think this was? I know who this woman is right now. So Simon admitted that he did change the locks. Remember, Porsha had to run to the courthouse. Simon has locked me out of our house, okay? Anyway, the paparazzi went on to say, I saw Porsha said the reason for the divorce was your immigration status. Are you threatened to be deported? And I'm reading it as it was written. These questions were in Us Weekly, and this article was released or published today, by the way. Simon said, if she traveled with me more than 30 times internationally and coming in and out of the United States for the past 34 years, you tell me what my immigration status is. So we will see if the status changes. I just feel like Simon dodged that question. I blame the paparazzi for not being specific and honing into his citizenship, right? Simon's response was, I'm a legal resident. I'm legal in the United States, and evidence of my legality as a resident in the United States is my ability to go in and out of the United States. But that doesn't mean you are a US citizen, right? It just means you have legal residency. You hold a green card. Hakuna Matata, right? Hakuna Matata. Then Simon showed off his new car. Basically saying, as you guys can see, I love orange interior when it comes to Rolls Royces, right? Simon said, my favorite color for a Rolls Royce is obviously mandarin, right? I have owned 3 of them in the last 7 years. I'm looking forward to a unification of all 3 of the mandarin interior color Rolls Royce in the very near future. Happy Monday. Something triggered Porsha right? Basically, Porsha knows now she can't flex to all of us about driving that expensive car because Simon did what? Put a stop to it. Anyway, so Porsha it says unification of 3. Meanwhile, one Rolls Royce Dawn was sold along with a Ferrari to buy one Spectra. Granny with pimples? Didn't you marry this granny with pimples, Porsha? Didn't you say, I am? Remember when it was announced that Porsha was coming back to season 16? She was like, Porsha Williams coming to Real Housewives of Atlanta? Who said that? Now, Porsha Guobadia is in the building. Remember? Right, she was proud to be a Guobadia. So many people chewed Porsha in the comments. Like, girl, he probably paid nothing for it, right? They probably gave him money back by trading in 2 vehicles for 1, right? And so Porsha was thinking she's chewing him up. And people are like, what are you talking about? He's trading expensive cars for another expensive car. It's actually brilliant. But we know why Porsha feels this way. You know, because she can't flex on us with that Rolls Royce. Anyway, so Simon then says, here we go again with the Underground Railroad concerning herself with why an experienced car enthusiast of 14 years makes a strategic business decision to conduct multi-million-dollar car trades. Stay in the Mercedes-Benz I bought in your name. Once again, emphasizing that Rolls Royce I gifted you, I did not give it to you. Instaflex, maybe? And then he went on to say, film in your assets, not mine. I worked for mine. And honestly, I agree with Simon. Like I've said in my other videos, although it is in the prenup, Porsha, really, you have no claim to this guy's properties, right? You were already making fun of him saying he had to trade in 2 cars just to get the new car. But all of them are luxury cars, very expensive cars. And must I say, you're holding on to one. At the same time, you're bashing this guy. Let go of his assets. Leave his house. Let go of his assets. This is a guy you claim is in debt, granny with pimples. So why are you holding on to his things? Move along, Porsha, scoot. I'm sure you can find another man. Porsha wants to film fighting with Simon. She wants to film in that $6 to $7 million home in Atlanta. She wants to film in his Rolls Royce. She's so desperate to flex that she's taking this man to court over his own assets just because you were married to him for 15 months. Do I feel bad for Simon? No. Guys, this is Keeping Up with the Guobadias.